I don't know how this video is going to go.
No, I don't even know what the title is going to be. I don't know what. It's honestly.
You know what? Everything that you're going to see is going to be unedited because this is going to be true freaking passion from both of us.
Real emotion, man. And believe us when we say these are thoughts that have been brewing for not just this year, not just for the first 4 weeks, for years.
Several years.
Actually, pretty much since, I would say, the Patriots blowout to open the 2019 season. And excuse us and swear jar, fuck us for wanting to believe and being a little optimistic that Tomlin and his coaching staff would change. And with the state of this team and the new faces we have and retirements and everything that went different for this team in recent years, that there would be change, there would be a different sense, a different outlook from Mike Tomlin and company. Unfortunately, none of that has happened. None of that has come true. And all of our optimism, all of our hope, all of our fake belief is just that. Fake. It's just that. I guess the only way we could really open and follow this is, for years, and it's becoming more apparent now than ever, everyone always said, well, Tomlin won in his second or third year with Cowher's team, with Bill Cowher's team, with his defense, with his quarterback, with his coaching staff. And guess what?
You know what?
That is being proven more right every single motherfucking year, swear jar.
And for the past several years, with Tomlin, now with his coaches, with his players, it's lather, rinse, and repeat with this guy.
It's the same song and dance.
It's the same outcome year after year after
single year. And I feel like we are repeating ourselves every single year, almost every single week, and we're seeing the exact same outcome, especially when it comes to losses we just experienced earlier today versus the Texans. How often has that become? How many times have you seen that in recent years? Too often. And we're left with the exact same feeling, the exact same thought. No reason to believe any change, no reason for any optimism, and no reason to think that Mike Tomlin can lead us any farther than what he already has with his own team, with his own quarterback, with his own coaching staff. Fuck us for wanting to believe that with his own quarterback, his own coaching staff, his own team, that he could get rid of the narrative that he only won with Cowher's team. And now with his chance and his time, he has not done so. He will not do so. There's no reason to believe that he will do so. I have now found reason to believe that he will never win another Super Bowl with this team. I have found reason that he will never lead this team to another Super Bowl.
Let alone a playoff win.
There may be people that may find hope for that, and God bless you, man. In fact, I encourage you. Go ahead. I can't find that encouragement. And the only people that can
may God have mercy on your soul.
But it seems like the only people that can are the spineless people in power for this organization. And that includes Art Rooney II. That absolutely includes Mike Tomlin himself. Everyone in power is spineless. Because how many times do we have to see the same thing year in and year out, week in and week out? For how many years? For them to finally say, oh yeah, hell yeah, there will be changes.
Yeah, after the Texans game, Tomlin's after-game press conference, he was asked if there would be changes to the Steelers team.
Mike, will you contemplate any changes, or is it still too early?
Regarding changes, hell yeah, we got to make some changes, man. That was an ugly product we put out there today, and so we're not going to do the same things and hope for a different outcome. What those changes are, man, we'll put together a plan in preparation.
Yeah. Same product for how many years? You can't put on the same thing and expect different results.
Tomlin, I think it's pretty clear what the problem is.
What changes? What those changes are? I think they're very apparent. They've been apparent for too long. You must be blind. What is wrong with these people, man? Are they that delusional?
They must have lost their minds. They must be insane at this point. To be satisfied to do the same stuff year in and year out and have Tomlin come after those games and say that changes are going to be made. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he state that last year?
What changes exactly? Are you talking a quarterback change because Kenny's hurt? What are you talking about? What changes? Are you just lying to the media?
It's just
Are you saying what we want to hear without actually making the necessary action?
It's his way to sweep it under the rug because the problem is his best buddy that got his kid into college.
Hell yeah, we're going to make changes my ass. I'll believe it when I see it. And I encourage all you to feel the same way. I doubt that completely.
It's frustrating.
And it's been apparent for how many years now, bro? It's been the same episode, the same song and dance for so long. Ever since Haley left, ever since Butler left. Honestly, those were guys that we brought in from outside sources. Keith Butler was a long-term linebackers coach that was promoted to DC after Dick LeBeau left. In fact, that was the start of what was going to be a travesty of coaching, I suppose.
Under Mike Tomlin.
Coaching, assistant coaches or in-house promotions.
Position coaches being promoted to coordinator positions.
For almost a full decade. That was the writing on the wall for the future of this organization. And we, unfortunately, couldn't see that far. It was started with Keith Butler. When Haley left, he promoted Randy Fichtner, who those two alone have experience from when they were all in the same coaching staff with Arkansas State back in 1998.
Yeah.
And then after Fichtner left, after Butler retired, he promoted he promoted the secondary coach, Terrell Austin, to DC. And then who did he promote after Fichtner left? The quarterback coach, the guy that got his kid into Maryland before he transferred to Boston College, Matt Canada. In-house promotions.
And year after year.
Playing buddy-buddy.
And year after year, it just seems to be getting worse for this team.
Worse and worse and worse, and it's the same episode week after week after week. No improvement, no reason to see improvement. Similar blowouts all the time against similar teams. Similar coaching staffed teams.
Yeah.
If they ever edge out a victory, it's never confident. It's never convincing.
And
it's never great.
This is a 17-year coach of a historic established franchise in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's getting beaten badly, constantly. You know, I remember listening and watching the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder, and they had Mike Tomlin on at one point. And I listened to it. It was a great episode. It was enjoyable. I loved it. But I remember one part in that episode where despite Tomlin's resume, despite him not at all having a losing season and winning a Super Bowl with the Steelers and everything, he was asked if you still want to prove yourself. He immediately said absolutely.
Well, he should.
Immediately he said absolutely.
He should, because Ben retired. He has his own quarterback. He has his own team now. There's no more Bill Cowher, nothing to associate with Mike Tomlin and this team. And the one time he has a chance to make his own legacy and to write that completely off. And this is what he shows us. This is what he has to offer. Same coaching staff, same result, week in and week out.
So exactly, Tomlin, I have to ask, what are you proving at this current state of your coaching career?
He's doing nothing but proving that he will never lead his team to another Super Bowl. Because that is the goal. That is the standard, right?
It always has been and always should be.
Or is it just non-losing seasons? Which he has had none. Which at this point he might be on the verge of his first. But non-losing seasons is our new championship. That's our new trophy. That is the most overrated stat in recent years.
You know what that is? It's a participation trophy.
Exactly. And like James Harrison and his kids, I don't want it. That's not what we're here for. That's not our standard. That's yours. That's mediocrity. That's not the Steelers' standard, man.
No.
It's not. That's not our culture. That's not what we play for. That is not what this city represents. Unfortunately, that's what you want to represent. Non-losing seasons, the most overrated prize that you've ever been offered, that you ever held, that you continue to hold. Let me ask you, what have you done with your non-losing seasons? Not one playoff win since the 2016 season.
Yeah, not one Super Bowl, and that was in your second year. Since then, underachieved. Time after time after time.
And for a number of years, and again, excuses for wanting to believe that there would be some sort of chip on his shoulder, that there would be some sort of change with his new team and a new quarterback and everything, right? And that's happened in the past few years. But for years now, it's been the same result. Not only in the playoffs, but against elite teams in the regular season. Recently in the playoffs, obviously, blowout victories, unprepared against elite competition, outcoached, and no changes whatsoever.
No.
So when you say, hell yeah, there are going to be changes, why should we believe you? What changes are you talking about when you don't even know what changes you're talking about? When you're just saying what we want to hear without making the necessary move? You're talking bullshit. You're a bullshit artist at this point, bro. It's sickening. And the Steelers absolutely should be putting Mike Tomlin on the hot seat. But they won't because they trust him too much. Art Rooney II confirmed it when he announced that Matt Canada will be returning as OC this year.
Yep.
He said, I don't want to ruin that chemistry, even though Matt Canada is going to leave this year, fingers crossed, and you're going to have to change the coordinator position for Kenny anyway. So why not just change it in the second fucking year? And Tomlin won't do shit because it seems like Matt Canada has something to hold against Tomlin. I don't know what it is. And then in that same interview, he said, we still believe Mike Tomlin can lead us to another championship. We won't want any other head coach to coach our team.
So right there and then, Tomlin's not going anywhere. And I think Tomlin knows that.
Tomlin
Because he knows
that.
he knows the Steelers' pedigree. He knows their tendency. They do not fire coaches.
And that's been the problem.
they are loyal as hell.
And that's been the problem. It's a blessing and a curse. And that's been the problem for the Steelers, not just from the organization, not just from their coaches, but their players. They all understand that. And they can get away with certain shit because they know they're safe. That's the problem. There is no discipline whatsoever with this fucking team. The higher ups, the people in power, are spineless in this organization. I know it's only week 4, but after seeing the same result so many times in so many games for so many years, why should we, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Steelers Nation, believe that there will be change, that there will be changes coming, that there will be an improvement from this team? You've already fooled me for too many years, man. And fuck me for thinking that you guys were going to have a different sense of momentum or a
attitude.
different sense of drive with this new era, right?
A new sense of motivation, a new sense of attitude, a new sense of something grateful.
And with everything they've invested into this team, yes, the players themselves are not executing. They've all been playing like shit. The secondary sucks. The O-line sucks. The quarterback sucks. The receivers can't get open. We can't get a running game going. But the coaching absolutely does not help. Scheming sucks, most importantly.
No.
It has hurt this team for too many years.
And yeah, the problem is Matt Canada, of course. No doubt. There's no doubt that guy's got to go.
I honestly think it absolutely starts with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
because
I was just about to get there. You know, I said the problem is Canada, and it is. But Tomlin is the guy up front. He's the one on the high chair.
he's the one that won't put anyone under the hot seat. He's the one that won't fire nobody. He's the one that won't do anything to his coordinators.
Because let me ask you.
And it's the same errors year after year, offensively and defensively, especially when it comes to the defense. It's the same fucking shit. With the offense, it's the same garbage. It's no different. When we see blowouts like we saw versus the Texans, versus the Niners, it's constant mistakes that we saw how many years ago? Versus the Patriots, versus the Browns, versus the Chiefs.
And now Houston. Not to take anything away from them, but they had a bruised up offensive line.
And he has the audacity of saying we can't expect to do the same thing and expect different results. Are you fucking kidding me? That's all you've been doing. The definition of insanity. You look up the Pittsburgh Steelers in the dictionary or in the history books. That is their new definition. The history of the definition of insanity.
Yep.
Because there's no changing. There's no changing whatsoever.
Because let me ask you a question. What other team would last this long with this performance?
No one.
With their coaches?
No one. No one. And say that's why certain teams fail. Say that's why the Browns have failed. Say why that's the Texans have failed and this and that. You're partially right. But when you are replaying the same thing over and over for so many years under the same coaches, under the same coaching staff, under the same leader, when is enough enough?
Yeah, that's when you got to put your foot down. That's when you got to make a move. That's when you got to make changes.
When are they going to actually do something?
And we're not talking about knee-jerk reaction changes, Tomlin.
It's not knee-jerk reactions when it's been... I hate to say this so many times. I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but it is literally the exact same thing all the time.
As a matter of fact, it's worse.
It gets worse because it's constant.
Right now, 4 weeks in for the offense, we are averaging 12 points per game. 12.
12, which means all field goals. Which is all we scored today, by the way, versus the Texans.
Yeah. We can barely get a first down in the first quarter, for God's sake.
When is enough enough? I don't understand how someone watches the same episode and does not get bored.
As a matter of fact,
how do you eat the same thing every night and not get stale?
As a matter of fact, Matt Canada, I guess he had a conversation with the announcers of the Steelers and Texans game prior to the matchup.
Yeah.
I guess he admitted, because apparently he told them that the Steelers offense is not built to come back from big leads with the way that they start games.
So you're saying the offense has no aggression. You're saying this offense has no sense of urgency. You're saying this offense has no sense of power. No sense of scoring. You're pretty much saying we fucking suck. You're pretty much saying I'm a failure.
And Mike Tomlin, for 3 years now, has kept this guy under his wing because he's his best buddy. He got his kid into college. Oh, I owe you a favor, Canada.
How stubborn can one be? How blind? I don't fucking understand it. Really?
Because as of right now, Tomlin is not looking like a football coach. He is not looking like an NFL coach. You know what he's looking like? He's looking like a best friend.
That's exactly what he's looking like.
He's looking like a best friend. I don't deny that he has leadership capabilities. I don't deny that he's a powerful voice in the locker room. But as a football coach, when it comes to putting his team front and center, it does not come off that way. It comes off as a man that is just sweeping everything under the rug, sweeping all the stats and the facts and the truth under the rug because he can't let go of his best friend.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Terry Bradshaw has had some comments about Coach Tomlin, which he has in previous years.
Yeah, he's been very vocal. And let me tell you, man, this thing has aged like fine wine.
But let me tell you, I guess this was recently. Terry Bradshaw stated, I played for a tough sucker.
Shout out to Chuck Noll.
May he rest in peace. And I was afraid of him. And we played our asses.
Which is called discipline and intimidation.
And we played our asses off for him because we feared him.
Yes. Yes. It's that sense of intimidation and respect and fear. It's like growing up with a parent that disciplines you. You won't do wrong because you know they're going to whoop your fucking ass.
But Bradshaw,
we don't have that.
Bradshaw continues. I don't see that with Mike Tomlin. He's chest bumping and all that. I'm selling this thing and I'm not delivering the goods, which is championships. You've got to face the criticism. I'm sorry, but he's not my kind of coach. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You want to tell me if Terry Bradshaw is wrong? Because I don't think he is.
No, he is not wrong whatsoever. And he's been very consistent with this exact thought for many years. And each and every year, it gets more proven right.
It gets
Each
more
and
evident.
every year that everyone says that Tomlin needs to be on the hot seat or Tomlin needs to go or that the Steelers won't win anything under Tomlin is being proven year after year after year. And believe us when we say it has been a constant thought in the back of our head, especially since the playoff losses, since the blowout week 1 versus 2019, where we said the exact same thing. You guys can watch that postgame for 4 fucking years ago. We said the same thing. But excuse us for having some sort of optimism, false hope that he would change his ways. And that has not happened.
It has not happened.
Fucking bit. And that is incredibly disappointing.
Not even 1 ounce. Not even.
And thus, we have no hope that this guy will ever give us another Super Bowl.
Mike Tomlin is all talk, no action. He doesn't show up. He shits the bed. He is not prepared.
And in
the man has just failed.
And in that case, the Steelers need to put him on the hot seat, but we know they won't. They trust him too much. They never put coaches on the hot seat. They haven't put any coach on the hot seat since before Chuck Noll was hired. Over 50 fucking years ago. When literally Art Rooney, the chief himself, the creator of this franchise, would box coaches to see if they would retain their job.
Yeah.
That's the last time we put anyone on the hot seat. That's it. It's a long time ago. Times have changed, and it has worsened this franchise. Everyone in power is spineless. They refuse to do anything necessary to better this franchise. And that goes all the way up to the Chiefs' grandson. That goes all the way up to Mike Tomlin, who's been the head coach for 17 years.
And year after year, I've tried. Dan has tried. We have tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. We have tried to give him chance after chance after chance. I have nothing but appreciation for everything that Mike Tomlin has done for this organization for as long as he's been our head coach. But recently,
that has been little.
It's been little. It's been nothing but the same shit. And the team is stale.
And respectively, I think we need a sense of scenery. We need a new change of scenery.
And if anybody's going to say, oh, well, if the Steelers get rid of Mike Tomlin, he'll be picked up just like that. He'll be picked up in 5 minutes.
Okay. And?
Let him.
The same thing happened to Andy Reid.
Let him.
When he left the Eagles. It's been too long. We need a change of scenery. We need a fresh guy in that field. That's it. That's it. The problem is, that's not going to happen with this organization for a few years. They might even extend them. They might. They haven't yet, and this might be the reason they haven't yet. But
no, if I'm Art Rooney, I'm not even considering it. But then again, I do not trust this man. I don't trust his organization the way that they do business anymore.
I don't trust anything that they say. I don't trust anything they do.
Because they are not the franchise that we all adored and fell in love with.
This is not the same team I grew up watching.
This is not the Chief ruling. This is not Dan Rooney ruling. When they cared about the team, when they were passionate about the sport of football, about winning championships. This is Art Rooney II, and he just seems to be letting the inmates run the asylum.
There you go. There you go.
And I'm tired of it.
We all should be tired of it.
I'm done. I'll put my hands up. I'm done.
Genuine question to everybody. What's the difference from 2019 to this year? Nothing. Nothing. How many blowouts have we suffered? Too many. How many wins have been convincing? Honestly, none. Because what has it won us?
No, even when we win a game, it's just like, well, I didn't like what they did this and that. That was sloppy, but I'll take the win. Instead of like, that was a dominating performance. That was a great performance. 0 flaws, Steelers. Great job.
So
we're going places. No, it's nothing like that anymore.
So there is no more hope. There is no more optimism. There is no more belief that this team is going to make the necessary changes and that this team will improve. Until the coaching staff is completely swept clean. And I mean everybody. The scheming, the OC, the O-line coach, even the DC, and yes, even Mike Tomlin himself. Unless Mike Tomlin wants to grow a spine late in his career and make a last-second spark, that's not happening.
And I don't see it happening anytime soon. And I don't see the organization putting their foot down.
I want to say maybe during the bye week they'll make some changes.
But why should it take till the bye week?
It should have been this year. It should have been this offseason.
Why does it need to take till the bye week?
It should have been this offseason. You had the Panthers OC, who was from McVay's coaching tree that we kept throwing his name out there. You had Eric Bieniemy, who literally lateraled from the Chiefs to the Commanders to play assistant head coach and OC. You're telling me we couldn't fill those two roles because, correct me if I'm wrong, our assistant head coach retired. Our OC sucked. You're telling me we couldn't lateral that? We couldn't open our wallets to pay that man? Especially with Kenny in his second year? Really?
But we kept this guy that doesn't know what the hell he's doing in the booth because of chemistry.
What chemistry?
I'm not talking about Breaking Bad chemistry. This is fucking sad chemistry.
This is just so pathetic, man. This is terrible.
Something needs to be done, of course.
This has all been on our mind for a long time. And for those that have been watching us for a couple years, we have stated it reoccurringly. But now officially, and this was evident after week 1 versus the Niners, especially. This coaching staff is
it's exposed.
It's absolutely exposed, man.
It's exposed.
And
it's disappointing.
And there's zero belief that there's going to be any improvement.
It's stale. It's more stale than stale bread. As a matter of fact, at this point, they're spoiled milk.
Yeah. This is so bad it makes Michael Jackson jealous, bro. This is bad, bro. And again, there's no belief that the Steelers organization or Mike Tomlin himself are going to make any changes.
So at this point,
moves.
At this point, it's sit back, relax, and buckle the fuck up.
Hold on for the ride because it's not going to be a pretty one. And whenever this ride's over, I don't know, dude. I don't know what happens after. I really don't. And that's what everyone else always says. Well, when Tomlin goes, when he's released, if he's fired, which he won't be, who do you bring in? That's for the Steelers to decide. It should be an offensive-minded head coach because that's the way of the NFL nowadays. That's more modern, isn't it? That's why most of the NFL teams are successful nowadays.
Yep.
Nick Sirianni,
Sean McVay,
Zach Taylor, Mike McDaniel. I think Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
So many others, bro.
We're too stuck in our old ways. We got the Steelers, not we, the Steelers got their heads so far up their ass, they can't pull it back out. It's stuck there. And that's their fault. And it will continue to be their fault unless changes need to be made, and changes absolutely do. Tomlin can say that hell yeah, there's going to be changes, but we know deep down within it's not happening.
There won't be. If you want to believe that, then by all means, that's you. Do you? But why should we expect any change when it's the same thing over and over and over? And we keep saying the same things over and over and over for so many years. Same reactions, same feelings, but they get worse because they're so more current than they have been. It's getting old.
At the end of the day, we will root for our Steelers. We will hope for the best. We will hope that they come out and freaking win some football games.
But there is no hope, no belief, no optimism that anything is going to improve, that this coaching staff is going to improve, that this team is going to make the changes. I give it until the bye, but even then, I'm not expecting that.
I'm done.
That's just false hope.
I'm done waiting.
That is as much false hope as it has been with Mike Tomlin thinking that we thought Mike Tomlin was going to improve upon himself, and that he did have something to prove. Clearly, he doesn't.
I'm done waiting. Just try to get by at this point.
I know this team's young, Kenny's only in his second year, and he's having a very poor start. And the coaching doesn't help. So we do still have a little bit of a ceiling if you want to hold on to that because of how young and fresh this team is, right? But, again, I'll say it one more time. Why should we expect any different results than what we've gotten the last couple of years when it's been too similar? There's no reason.
No.
There is zero reason. And with everything we've invested in, no change from last year. No change from 2 years ago. No change from 3 years ago.
At this point,
it's the same thing as if Ben was still at quarterback.
At this point, we're just throwing money away.
At this point, you're right. It's such a shame, man. And until proven otherwise, we're going to remain with that belief.
I think that's it, man.
That's how we're going to end it. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. How you guys feeling about Mike Tomlin? Do you think he should be on the hot seat? Do you think he should be fired? He won't be. We know he won't be. The Steelers aren't going to do that. They're not brave enough. They don't have a spine to do it. They don't have the cojones to do it. No one does. No one. If they're not going to do it now, they never will. I don't understand it, dude. I really don't. It's been too long, too apparent, and they refuse to do anything. They may say it, but there's no reason to believe it. So at the end of the day, I don't know. Believe it when we see it. But at the end of the day, go Steelers. And just hold on for the ride for the remainder of the year. And we'll see what happens at the end of the day. But to open the first 4 weeks, this is a completely atrocious start. This is easily one of the worst Steelers teams that we have witnessed in years. Granted, I mean, there's not really a lot of bad ones because let's be real, we are young fans. We never really experienced a bad team. If I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you, the only quarterback we've ever known has been Ben. I'm going to be 1,000% honest with you. But we have known the history of this team. We have seen so much success. We know the standard. And seeing so much similar for so many years, we know when it's really, really bad. And this is really, really bad.
Yeah.
This is really, really bad. This is the worst Steelers team. This is the worst Steelers coaching staff in many years. And nothing's going to improve. Prove me wrong. But guess what? You won't. Because we've had this feeling for how many years now? We've been saying the same thing about Matt Canada since he's become OC.
You know what the Steelers are going to continue to do? You know what Mike Tomlin is going to continue to do? Live in their fears.
Damn. And that's how we're going to end it. Same old Steelers. Here we go, Steelers at the end of the day.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.
Peace.